Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, Brother Guy, and we are back again with another preview of UFC. This time it's Sean Strickland taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, middleweight top contendership on the line. Big fight card. Must say, I'm quite impressed with the matchups that we're going to get this weekend. It will be live this Sunday at 3 a.m. South African time, which is the 22nd of February from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. But I'm going to be going through it as always from the top of the card. We will start with that middleweight division. Sean Strickland is taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. And to be quite honest with you, I think it's a well-meditated fight for Anthony Hernandez. I think he's done more than enough to put himself in this position to get a fight against the former champion, Sean Strickland. And for Sean Strickland, I wonder what we're going to get this time around when it comes to Sean Strickland, right? I mean, if we're being realistic, if we look at his record in the last 3 fights, he only had one win. One win, and that was over Paulo Costa. Let me give you some statistics first before I break these X's and O's down of these two fighters. So Sean Strickland is at 34 years old, still relatively young in the game. He's currently ranked number 3 in the middleweight division. His record stands at 29 wins, 7 losses, 0 no contests. He's got 11 wins by KO, 4 wins by sub, 9 first-round finishes, and he lost to the one and only Dricus du Plessis by unanimous decision in his last fight, the real champion. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, who is really quickly becoming a fan favorite and one of my favorites to watch in that division. 32 years old is Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. He's currently ranked number 4 in the middleweight division. His record is 15 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contests. He's got 3 wins by KO, 9 wins by sub, 5 first-round finishes. He's currently on a 8-fight winning streak in the UFC, which is brilliant considering the landscape of that division right now. He beat Roman Dolidze by fourth round sub in his last fight, which again, guys, that's a statement win considering the run Dolidze was on prior to that fight. So that's what I'm saying. You got to put some respect on Fluffy's name. Now, X's and O's. I think for Sean Strickland, keys to victory for Sean Strickland in this fight, in my opinion, is keep it long, right? Do what brought you to the dance in the first place. Aggressive boxing, fantastic jabs, great tips to keep fighters from shooting on you. Because if we're being realistic about this, it's for you guys in the comments out there. I can't really remember this other than Dricus. But when was the last person to aggressively wrestle with Sean Strickland and keep him on the ground outside of Dricus du Plessis? If I can think on top of my head, I can maybe think Jared Cannonier, perhaps, but he probably wasn't even that successful with it. So it's like not many people are able to out-wrestle Sean in this division and keep him on the ground, right? And that's not because people don't want to shoot on Sean Strickland. It's just because Sean Strickland's style doesn't really give you those opportunities. It's very minimal. You can take him down, but the windows that are going to be presented in a fight to take him down, not that often. And that's because of his style. He fights long. He keeps you at his range. He keeps you at the edge of his punches and kicks. And Sean Strickland throws that tip out like it's a jab. It's coming at you at a fast rate like this. And it's consistent, right? For someone like Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, you know what his keys to victories are in any of his fights, right? That's overwhelming pressure of aggressive clinch control, grappling against the cage, taking you down, just mauling you, just making it one of those fights where you just don't want to be in there with him, right? The question I have is Fluffy going to be successful enough in getting to that position? Because again, Strickland's high caliber. Like for some reason, people don't rate him that good. People don't give him the quality of let's say when Easy was champion or the Spider himself, right? People want to compare him to the middleweight greats, but they kind of put Sean Strickland just below that. And I kind of disagree with it. I don't put him elite of the elite, but I find his fight style when he's confident and he's on and he's locked in, he's a very tough fight for anybody in the division. He's very, very hard to get through. His style is one of those styles that people don't want to fight because it's at a pace where it suits him, and Sean Strickland just doesn't get tired. Fluffy doesn't get tired either. I mean, the fact that he went 5 rounds against Brendan Allen, which was a pacey fight, and he did it quite easily. 4th round sub against Dolidze, made it look easy. He's also a 5-round specialist. Now, the game plan would be quite simple for Fluffy, in my opinion, if you think about what the coaches would tell him. Strickland can't necessarily do the jiu-jitsu game as much as or as well as Fluffy Hernandez, right? So the game plan would be stay in his face, make it ugly, put him on the back foot early, and then stay him on the back foot the whole time. That means you must keep him on against the cage, keep him against the cage. But as long as Fluffy stays in those positions, he's winning the fight. That's also in his domain. So that means he's got to fight a little bit like. Can I give you an example of? I don't think there's many people in the UFC that fight this style, but if I could draw attention to someone that's from one championship quickly, is Warapun. And what Warapun does is he does this thing where he puts his hands into your face, like he blinds you. He does this, but he does it in such a way that he's moving close to you while he's doing it. And by the time you want to retaliate by grabbing hands or trying to counter, he's in the clinch. He's got a clinch on you already. He's already holding you. And I think Fluffy needs to fight that kind of fight. If he goes in there and tries to jab with Sean Strickland and box with him and stay on this and then work his way in through striking, which fundamentally should be the thing to do, I don't think he's going to come off first in this fight by doing that. I think if he fights that way, he's going to come up second best every time. Strickland's going to keep him, popping him, moving him, popping him. And, as the fight progresses, Sean will find that kill shot on him. I think Fluffy is going to have to almost instantly just run him down, give him no time to operate, grab a wrist, grab a neck, grab something, and then he'll start to retaliate, and that's when you can shoot on him, make him panic, and then shoot on him. And then you start making wrestling the whole time. And Sean Strickland's a very good grappler in terms of getting up off his feet. DP took him down, but the DP couldn't hold him down. So Fluffy's gonna have a lot to do to win this fight. And the more and more I think about it, I go to myself and I think, hey, I think Strickland might just be too tough for him. But if there's anyone I want to win, I want Fluffy to win. He's the new breed. He's the guy that's easy to get behind. You want to follow him. He's a fun dude, and he can definitely pose big threats to Strickland. I just wonder if he's able to keep Strickland down, and even better, would he be able even to get to those positions? It's a tough order, and it sounds like I'm going for Strickland, but I'm not actually. I'm going to reserve that for when we do our parlay episode on Thursday night. Keep a look at that. We will be live. But you can let me know in the comment sections what you guys think about that main event. Is the boxer going to win? Is the grappler going to win? Who executes the game plan correctly and gets it right? Because we do know that Fluffy is relentless and Strickland is a fantastic counter grappler. So it's a very tricky fight. Very, very tricky fight. Sean Strickland, currently on screen, we can see now, is the 3.2 underdog. And maybe that's because Fluffy's on an 8-fight winning streak and like taking people out, taking scalps quite easily. And Sean Strickland has been, let's be real, since losing to DDP the first time, he's been on a little bit of a downer. Because even the performance against Paulo Costa, it wasn't vintage Sean Strickland either. You know what I mean? So I can understand those numbers, but I think the fight will still be close. I don't think it will be that wide of a gap, considering what the numbers are saying. But okay, you guys know where the comment section is. Let me know what you guys make of that main event. But for now, I'm going to keep it moving to the co-main event. Let's go, guys. Co-main event. Pardon me. So, co-main event, we have Jeff Neal, hands of steel, taking on Uros Medic. This is going to be a crazy fight. This is welterweight MMA. And look, I'm going to say this now before I break it down. I got the feeling this is going to be a tough fight for our boy in the hands of stone, Jeff Neal. Reason being is reason B is because I don't know if Jeff Neal still has it. I think Jeff Neal still has it against the over 35s. I think he definitely has it against them. But against the younger guys that are coming into the brand with vibrance and I want to make a title run, I want to go to the top 5. I think against those kind of opponents that are very good at striking as well, I think Jeff Neal has a tough time. And you would argue that it's a favorable matchup for him because it's a striker, right? Someone that isn't really prioritizing grappling that much. He's first and foremost a striker. But it's a big but. I've seen Uros Medic's fights before, and I'm like, this guy's got some good hands. He's creative in there. He's a very, very good striker. I think he poses big threats to Jeff Neal. But before I break into X's and O's, let me give you some statistics here. So Jeff Neal is 35 years old, right? He's ranked number 12 in that welterweight division. Still a good ranking considering the caliber of the division, right? Ranked number 12 is still quite high. His record is 16 wins, 7 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 10 wins by KO, 2 wins by sub. He's got 7 first-round finishes with fantastic boxing and kickboxing. He lost to Carlos Prates by first-round KO in his last fight, but that wasn't. It's Carlos Prates. Nothing to be sad about. Uros Medic, on the other hand, he's 32 years old. His record is 12 wins, 3 losses, 0 no contests. He's got 10 wins by KO, 2 wins by sub, 9 first round finishes. Very good. Very good. Currently on a 2-fight win streak inside of the UFC. He beat Salikov by first round KO in his last fight. Beautiful, beautiful display of boxing in that fight. And again, like I'm saying, it's a big step up for him because he's not ranked. Medic is not ranked, right? He's taking on a ranked number 12 guy, but not just any number 12 guy. The guy who was in the top 5 for years, right? It's a high level profile fighter that he's taking on for a ranking, right? So what that simply means is that there's a lot for Udos to gain than he would to lose in this fight. And for Jeff Neal, there's more to lose than he is to gain. So what they're fighting for does play a big role into how they're going to perform, in my opinion, in this kind of fight. So Jeff Neal, what does he do really well? He's got a fantastic southpaw body kick, high kick. He's got a fantastic full straight right jab, left straight counter, especially when he pulls it. So you'll jab and pull back and then go with the left straight. He's got good footwork. He's fundamentally fantastic, but he needs time and space to operate, right? What that means for me is that when you watch Jeff Neal, when he's overwhelmed with offense, and he has to be defensively active. He does keep tendencies where he might drop his hands because he's such a primarily footwork heavy fighter, right? So he's bouncing a lot. So if you overwhelm him with a lot of offense, whether it's grappling or like fast strikes, what he does is first and foremost is he will dart back. But what he does in those moments is he lets the hands down. Especially our father's caught him with a spinning elbow, by the way. He drops his hands. Even when he moves laterally, he drops that hands. It's almost like there's a swagger to his movement that he does. But that's when his defenses are open. And Medic is a high volume guy, and he's also a type of fighter that bounces a lot, but he goes forward a lot. He doesn't really take backward steps. So I think he's going to put the pace on Jeff Neal immediately. And again, I'm telling you guys this now. The motivations is what plays a role in this kind of fight. Jeff Neal's on a downer. Medic is on an up, right? And if you look at the welterweight division, there's kind of a re-rack happening. If you think about this very carefully, there seems to be a bit of a shift of the numbers in the division, like who's going where, who's breaking into the top of the echelon of the division, and who's leaving. And Jeff Neal, over the course of the last three and a half years, he has been going like this. He's been going downward. That Medic, I think he's probably got the better power than Jeff Neal. I don't think he's as precise as Jeff Neal. He doesn't have the same kind of accuracy. Might not even have the same kind of speed. But he definitely has more power. I do think he's a bit more creative in there because he does use the overall theme of MMA. I think Jeff Neal, he primarily relies on kickboxing. That's just what he does. He's a kickboxer by nature. His boxing is one of his best weapons. Doesn't really veer from that too much. You know what I mean? Grappling wise, he doesn't take people down. He will clinch up against the cage to be safe, maybe to recover or to avoid damage. But that's like what Jeff Neal does. And I feel like there's a lot of tape for Udos to go and read and watch for tendencies. Whereas for Jeff Neal, you can't really go and see much on Udos. So you can't do that much homework other than the UFC fights that he has had, right? So I'm low-key actually making this fight a bit of a pick'em. I don't think it's going to be as clear as what we would think for Jeff Neal to win because of, I'm not too sure, but I think he might be the favorite. I think it's a close fight. I think it's going to Jeff Neal minus 150. So he is the favorite. It's okay. He is the favorite. There you go. But that plus for us, it says 1.50. That for me tells me that the fight is actually not that far away from each other in terms of the line he's saying. So there is some value on Udos in this fight, and I can agree. I've seen enough to know that it's not going to be an easy fight for Jeff. I think he's going to be matched in the boxing. I think the biggest issue for Udos in this fight to deal with is going to be the speed and the footwork. He's going to be able to track Jeff Neal down. Is he going to kick Jeff Neal's legs enough to get him to stand still? You know what I mean? He's going to have to really do that because if you don't do that and you give Jeff Neal the time to operate and get that swagger that he normally does, then you might end up taking pictures in the ring there and get KO'd by him. So he's going to have to really not give Jeff Neal absolutely zero time to operate in there. And that could garner him a first-round finish or even put him ahead over the scorecards far enough. But Udos fights for the money. He fights for the KO. So I think he's going to go in there and put the pace on Jeff Neal. Is he going to win? I'm not so sure, but I think the chances are higher than what the lines are saying. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, chat. I'd love to know what you guys make of that one. Is this going to be the end of Jeff Neal? Is this going to be the mark of Uros Medic? Excuse me. um, but let me know what you guys think. I think that's a fantastic co-main event. I really do. I think UFC did a very good job putting such a good matchup together. Let's keep it moving to the next fight where we have 50K, baby. So up next we have featherweight bout between Dan 50K Ige taking on my guy Milkizeu Costa. This is gonna be a fun fight again because Milkizeu Costa is low-key going under the radar here. He's going under the radar, racking up some good wins. People aren't talking about my guy. And I think he's putting on some good performances. And I think a fight against Dan Ige, win or lose, he's going to put him on the map a little bit more than what he already is. So let's go through some statistics and then we'll break down some X's and O's. Dan Ige, fan favorite for sure. He won over the crowd when he took the late replacement fight against Diego Lopez. He is 34 years old, still relatively young in my opinion, ranked number 14 in the featherweight division. His record in the UFC, or at least his overall record, is 19 wins, 10 losses. It's a lot of fights. It's a hell of a lot of fights. 10 losses, 0 no contest, 7 wins by KO, 5 wins by sub, 7 first-round finishes. He lost to Patricio Pitbull by unanimous decision. A very underwhelming performance by Dan Ige. Surprised he fought the way he fought in that fight, actually. Milkizeu Costa is 29 years old, so one would argue the new breed. His record currently stands at 25 wins, 7 losses, 0 no contests. Also a hell of a lot of fights. 8 wins by KO, 8 wins by sub, 10 first round finishes. What an absolute gangster. 5 fight win streak so far in the UFC. He's had more fights than that, but I mean, his last 5 fights have been absolutely amazing. And I'm impressed, bro. He took out Andre Fili in one of them. He took out Erosa. He beat Morgan Sherry in his last fight, first round KO. Milkizeu Costa is climbing the rankings in a way that I really like, and because he's doing it silently. Right, there's going to be a time where we can't ignore the flashy hairstyle, right? So, what do we have in this fight? We obviously have Dan Ige, short, stocky, good takedown defense, powerful boxing, sometimes a little bit too shy to pull the trigger or too hesitant to pull the trigger, which is weird because he's got so much fucking power. I don't know why he doesn't pull the trigger fast enough. Sometimes because it takes so long to get going, he loses rounds, and that's when it's like what happens to Dan Ige. It's like when he wants to get going, it's like the clock beats him. It's a little bit like Suryan Lek from one championship, where it's like he runs at the time. He doesn't really, it takes too long to get going, and then it's like I should have started earlier. Milkizeu Costa for me is a more well-rounded fighter than Dan Ige, and I like Dan Ige. But watching Milkizeu Costa, I realized this guy is actually training really well. The evolution of his game since losing to what's his name, Garcia, one of the hard punches. Ryan, what's his name? Just double check here quickly. Steve Garcia. He's also on a big win streak. I think like six wins or something like that. Since losing to Garcia, I noticed a big change in Milkizeu Costa's fight game. Like he's a lot more poised. He's a lot more precise. He's looking like he's not like this ball of anxiousness in there anymore. He's picking shots a little bit better. He can grapple. I was like, oh my word, he can actually grapple. And he's tall for the featherweight division. He's got range on a lot of the guys in this division, which is really good to have. You know what I mean? This one of Max Holloway's greatest success in the featherweight division over the years was that he was taller than everybody. He towered over everyone. So that's something that he used to his advantage. And Milkizeu Costa does it as well. He's got a mean kick on him. He's got a nice spinning back elbow. And again, if he needs to, he can switch it up. He can grapple if he has to. And I think in this fight, he doesn't have to do much because Dan Ige is a guy that's just going to stand and he's not going to take you down. He's going to stand and fight with you, right? He's going to walk forward, stand and fight with you. I think for Milkizeu Costa, this is going to favor him. I think it's going to favor him quite healthily because of that range, and he likes to strike and he's creative. He uses weapons that Dan Ige doesn't use. Front kicks, you know what I mean? Low calf kicks, spinning elbows. He's got a nice jab. He's got a fast 1-2 as well, and I think he might fight. I think he will fight at range, which will make it tricky for Dan Ige. Dan Ige, the game plan is simple in my opinion. Eliminate the space, stay in his face, make the boxing range very, very short, and you can crack him, bruh. I believe that Dan Ige's got more power than Milkizeu Costa. But for him to let that power actually carry over into the fight, I think he has to be super aggressive early. Don't take too long because Milkizeu Costa is a good game plan kind of fighter. He can really like navigate through 3 rounds simply actually. So yeah, I think Dan Ige needs to make this fight the kind of fight where, if you look at the way Steve Garcia beat Milkazo Costa, he was on Milkazo Costa every round. He stayed in front of him, didn't give him any space to move, outboxed him, just made it a fight where he wasn't comfortable in there. And Dan Ige has to do the same thing. And by doing that, it means you just have to eliminate that space. Stay here. Even if you have to clinch with him, do that. The more you do, the more you put him on the back foot and he has to clinch with you, or you have to box in close range, right? What Milkazo Costa does in close range is elbows. He likes to elbow in close range, right? So then Ige can get the advantage there where he gets in very tight, because you can put him in a clinch, you can hit the body, you can attack the legs. He might even have to take him down if it's necessary. But that's, I think, personally, I feel like that should be his game plan. If he doesn't do that, he fights out in the open and makes it a boxing fight, I think he's going to come up second best. Purely because if you think about how Dan Ige fought against Patricio Pitbull, who is shorter than Dan Ige, by the way. Dan Ige couldn't even punch him. I was like, what the fuck? Why can't you punch this guy in the face? So now he's fighting someone that's taller and has a higher volume than Patricio Pitbull. So it's even bigger threats for Dan Ige. So it's a tricky fight for him. But if anyone can do it, at least 50K. Let's see what happens. But I'm gonna definitely keep a close eye on this fight, because these are two favorites for me. Dan Ige is a favorite because of what he does, but I think Milkazo Costa, if you think about up and comers in the featherweight division, he's a guy to keep a good eye on. But give me your name, give me your thoughts in the comment section. Give me your thoughts on the matchup, who you think wins, and how do they get it done. For now, we are going to be moving to the next bout on this wonderfully stacked main card. Right, let's keep it moving. Up next, we have a heavyweight bout. Ooh, big heavyweight bout, because it is ranked opponents. Give me a couple of seconds here. I just want to sip my steroids because my mouth is dry. Nothing better than a steroid juice in the morning while talking about some fights. Right, let's go. Heavyweight is obviously, you guys have been following Fight with Friends, you know this is AD's favorite division. I can understand why, because it's either very exciting to watch or it's very laughable to watch. Okay, so up next we have Sergey Spivak taking Ante Delija. Guys, this is going to be a bit of a worldie, because both guys are finishers of a high order. Let me give you some statistics, and then we'll talk about some X's and O's, because this is for rankings, right? This is for title run kind of fights. Sergey Spivak is 31 years old. Very good fighter, by the way. His record is 17 wins, 6 losses in no contest, 7 wins by KO, 8 wins by sub, 11 first round finishes, 2 losing streak. He lost to our guy Waldo Cortez Acosta by unanimous decision, which is, again, let's give that some props, right? Because Acosta don't really go to decision. He always knocks people out, and Sergey Spivak survived 3 rounds against him. Ante Delija is 35 years old. Thought he was a little bit older. He's currently ranked number 9 in the division. I don't know why I don't have Spivak's ranking here. I know he's ranked a bit higher. He's ranked number 7. There we go. Delija is ranked number 9 in the heavyweight division. His record is 26 wins, 7 losses, 0 no contest. 13 wins by KO. He's got 6 wins by sub, 15 first round finishes. In his last fight, he also lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta, first round KO. But that's because Delija fights like he wants to knock you out. In fact, he actually had Costa rocked in that fight, which is why he rushed forward and then ran into a nice check right hook. So what we have here, we have Delija, brilliant kickboxer by nature. I think he fights out of, is it Ukraine? Holland. Can't remember now, but either or, that region does produce fantastic kickboxers, right? But I think he trains out in the UK. Sergey Spivak, again, we've seen him fight in the UFC for quite some time. He's gone on fantastic runs, knocking people out. He's got a good clinch, he's got a nice tight clinch. His grappling is okay, but it's not necessarily his most favorable positions. But he's not against going to the ground, because he's actually a well-rounded athlete. But first and foremost, he's a guy who likes to go and get those finishes. There we go, Croatian. And you guys know the Croatians do produce some very good kickboxers. So what we're going to get in this fight, from my perspective, I think we're going to get a lot of pressure from Ante Delija. I think he's going to put face on from the very beginning. That doesn't mean it's going to give him success, because Spivak We've seen Spivak get KOs on the back foot. If he's going forward, he shoots if he's on the pressure and he takes you down. And he's a smart fighter in there. He's not someone that's just like your typical heavyweight that's going to rely on that one punch kind of power. I think he's one of the very few fighters currently in the roster right now that isn't shy to use the different avenues of the fight game. Clinch up against the cage, put you in a tight clinch. He's comfortable doing all of that. So I think he's the more well-rounded MMA fighter between the two guys. But I do think that Delija is the superior striker. I do think he's masterful on the feet. I think he's got the range, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check here. I think Delija might have the range over him. What's that? 70 to 73, 76 to 73. So yeah, screen.
Same reach.
Same reach. But I think the style. I think you're 80. The style of Delija, because it's primarily kickboxing, he uses the range a little bit better. Watch him throw his jabs. Watch him throw his hooks and his straights and his combinations that he puts in there. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, current champion from Aspinall, he spoke very highly of Ante Delija and backed up his striking in the heavyweight division because there's not that many grapplers, who are there really, realistically. There's Curtis Blades in the top 5 that just released Jelton Almeida. He's no longer in the UFC. So there's not primarily grapple-heavy fighters in the heavyweight division to date. And that's why the hype around Delija has been so high, because you've got this fantastic, highly decorated kickboxer coming into the division where no one's really shooting on anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fantastic prospect to watch. And I mean, he hasn't had that many fights in the UFC and he's already in the top 10. So we have to really recognize that, right? So I do believe he's going to put Spivak on the back foot. I'm just not too sure if that's going to garner him success, because Spivak's a well-rounded striker and grappler, and he's a good counter striker as well. If I will say something about this fight, I'd be surprised if it goes all the way. I'll give you guys that. Who's going to get the win? We'll have to wait until Thursday evening to get my picks for that one. But for now, give me your thoughts in the comment section while we move to the next bout. But that's going to be a fun fight because a lot at stake. Someone needs to, get back into that title contention. And I think Spivak wants to get there. For Delija, he hasn't been there yet. He wants to get a taste of that as well. So let's see who wins here. I think a lot at stake is going to result in one of these guys getting the finish. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Let's move to the next fight. Let's go. All right, up next, this is also going to be a pacey fight. We do have Jacoby Smith or Jacob Smith. I don't know if it's Jacoby. Jacob Smith, I'm going to say Jacoby Smith taking on Josiah Harrell. This is the welterweight, I think. Sorry. Yeah, welterweight division. And fun fact, both guys are 11-0. Someone's got to go. Jacob Smith is 29. Jacoby Smith is 29 years old. His record, like I said, is 11-0. He's got 8 wins by KO. He's got 7 first-round finishes, 2 wins in the UFC currently. So he beat Nico Price in his last fight by first-round sub. Very, very good, well-rounded athlete, young, vibrant, a good name to keep an eye on in terms of prospects coming into the UFC today. Josiah, on the other hand, is 27 years old, so a couple of years younger, but still a very good prospect. Also 11-0, like I just mentioned. He's got 5 wins by KO, 4 wins by sub, 3 first-round finishes, and this is going to be his UFC debut. So I actually have not seen a lot of tape on Josiah. I gathered from information that he's a little bit of a more well-rounded athlete, has gone into later rounds. Jacob Smith is like a bit of a one-round specialist kind of guy. Looks to get knockouts early, super aggressive. Fights like a fireball in there, puts on the pace nice and early. But both guys like to do that. So I think this fight's going to be car crash. And because of the stylistically of what they fight like, the age that they are at, and like, this is my time to arrive at the scene and make a name, right? I think it's going to potentially be fight of the night, guys. Making an early call now. I think this fight has got a high potential to be fight of the night. Even though it's a couple of newbies, or a little bit, one of them is a bit of an unknown factor, but that just makes the fight more exciting, right? Especially for the fighters themselves. It's like this is the stage. I'm going to be on a main card. You know what I mean? Undefeated versus undefeated. I think both guys don't want to lose, but also I think both guys are going to want to put on a statement. So it's going to be interesting. Okay, Josiah Harrell is 3.4 plus 240 underdog. Interesting. Well, someone has to be an underdog, right? interesting. I think maybe because Jacob Smith has probably had more experience in the UFC. That's probably why they're giving him the favorite. Because literally on paper, it doesn't showcase neither guy being the better. It showcases a very equal setting, equal height, virtually identical, same fight style, similar resume. You know what I mean? Jacob Smith only literally came to the UFC like a year ago, so he's also fairly new to this brand. So I'm excited to see who wins here. I don't have a pick for you guys. I don't know who, and I can't really break it down realistically. I just know that both guys are relatively well-rounded. I think because I've seen a bit more of Jacoby Smith, it's probably going to make me go towards him. But I'm going to give that one a pass. I think I'm just more keen to see what they're going to look like on the night. But again, if you guys have any information in the comment section, especially about Josiah at all, let me know in the comment section. Give me your thoughts about him. If you've seen anything about him on the other scenes, what's his fight style like? Is he the better fighter here? Is he the warranted underdog? Let me know in the comment section. But for now, we will keep it moving to the closing bout, or excuse me, the opening bout of the main card. So let's go. Okay, so the opening bout of the main card, we have Zach Reese taking on Miguel Pereira. Interesting, eh? This is an interesting fight. so Zach Reese is 31 years old. His record is 10 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest, 5 wins by KO, 3 wins by sub, 7 first round finishes. He beat McVeigh by second round sub in his last fight. I don't really want to put too much respect on that win because he's beaten up a bunch of nobodies, really. Miguel Pereira, on the other hand, is also 31 years old. You think the guy's more like 40. His record is 31 wins, 14 losses, 0 no contest, 11 wins by KO, 9 wins by sub, 14 first round finishes. He lost to Kyle Daukas by first round KO in his last fight. He's on a 3-fight slide as it stands right now. He's rapidly losing fans. I think it's because of also how he's losing fights. He's like, he only has one round. He became famous more for his like crazy shit in the ring, but never really like, he's never really beaten elite fighters. He has never beaten good fighters even. You know what I mean? It's like, what is this man's, what is his buzz? Every time you want to get behind him, he goes, puts on a stinker and you're like, who is this man? Is he a fraud? Like, what's the buzz here? You know, because how do you have 31 wins? What the hell's going on? You know, almost 50 fights. Almost 50 fights, and you only have, and you got 31 wins. That's more than 50% of your fights you're winning, right? But when you watch them in the UFC, it's been a whole bunch of shambles. It's like such a roller coaster of a career, if you will. So it's been hard to really get behind him because of like, yeah, you don't know what this man's vibe is like. Because like, you can support someone when they lose, but the way he's been losing, you're like, hey, are you even a fighter, bro? You know what I mean? That's just my thoughts on Miguel Pereira. But anyway, I think it's going to be a fight that's probably going to favor him because Zach Reese is also a bit of a topsy-turvy kind of guy in the UFC, right? Winning, losing kind of situations. He is a well-rounded athlete. I'm not going to lie. The guy does have a good game. He can strike really well. He's got good power. He does have good wrestling. Maybe I need to see him fight more regularly against like top names to really see where he's at, right? Because like the win-lose rate situation going up against some, like if you look at his record, hasn't really competed against like the biggest names. You know what I mean? Lost to Brandage, beat Marquez, he beat Daniel Medina, he lost to Bekaev, he beats Todorovic. That's that skyscraper, bruh. He can't even fight, but he beat him by decision. Then he had the no contest against Streakers, kicking his balls into his chest. And then he beat McVeigh, who is again a guy that can't even get one win under his belt. So it's like, as much as you want to give him respect for his wins, it's like you should be beating the guys that are in and around the non-ranking fellas. Like that, you should be beating them. Now you're getting someone that was in the rankings, right? And a very much a wild card kind of fighter. But the game plan's simple against Miguel Pereira. Stay safe in the first round. You beat him in round 2 and round 3. He only has 5 minutes in him. his style does not allow him to fight more than 5 minutes. It doesn't. It's too explosive. It's too aggressive. It's too too reckless. So it's like he's putting so many things in there. Capoeira, jumping off the cage, smacking you, putting all effort into these kind of shots. But what happens if he doesn't finish you with those weapons, then you know for a fact in the next 2 rounds he can't do half of what he just did. He can't. He can't even do a quarter of what he just did. Right? And Zach Reese for me is the more polished fighter, but he's gonna have to be patient. And I think if he gets overwhelmed by Barrera's insane first round pressure, he's gonna lose. But if he stays smart, calm, and patient in the first round, he will. I will bet so much that he will get Pereira in the later rounds. 100% will do it. But it's a lot easier said than done, obviously. But give me your thoughts in the comment section about this fight. What do you guys make of the matchup? For now, I'm gonna keep it moving to the prelims. We'll talk about some news. Okay, I think this first the main event of that prelim is actually quite a banger. We have the welterweight version of Chidi Chidi Njokuani, bang bang, taking on Carlos Leal. Now I didn't make any notes for the two fighters, but I can freestyle for you guys, no problem. For Chidi Bang Bang, we know he was formerly fighting in the competing middleweight, welterweight, middleweight. Now back to welterweight, and I think he found his home in this division. He's actually had a very good run in the welterweight division. I think he's undefeated in the division, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, this last fight he lost Jake Matthews. That was his one loss. But before that, he was on a massive streak, right? Just beating, taking down names. But that was a good game plan from Jake Matthews, and that was just to wrestle him. Right? That's how you beat Chidi Bang Bang. He doesn't want to wrestle with you. He wants to Chidi Bang Bang. I think in this fight, he's going to get that opportunities because Carlos Leal, that's how Carlos Leal's fight. Carlos Leal has never really taken people down. He wants to go in there and also just swing for the fences, get those finishes, right? That's the kind of fight that he's in. He's the kind of guy that he puts so much into it that it's either going to get in a knockout or he's going to be the one that's going to get knocked out. And that's why for this fight, if you guys want to make some safe money on this fight, I would say probably not to go the distance. Really because of how these guys fight. I do believe that Chidi Bang Bang has the striking advantage. He's taller, he's sharper, he's got a lot more precise type of attacks. Got a nice front kick on him as well, a good body kick as well. So he will occupy the left side of Carlos Leal, which fights out of the southpaw stance. Carlos Leal has mad power, if not more power than Chidi Bang Bang. However, Carlos Leal does tip the head down, and he's coming from this wide loop and shit, right? But he makes it chaotic in there, and that's actually how you make it uncomfortable for Chidi Bang Bang. You should make it chaotic. So I do expect Carlos Leal to be the one to walk him down, right, and swing on him and make it crazy. But that's where Chidi Bang Bang actually has to be the most awake in that instances, because that's where you can actually catch Carlos with elbows or sharp counters. Is in those instances, and if he stays safe, you can get away. Carlos Leal does get tired. My guy can't go all the way, and Chidi Bang Bang can get him in the later round. So there are more avenues for Bang Bang to win, but there is still the puncher's chance for Carlos Leal to put him away. You know what I mean? There is that reality still. That's a very good main event for the prelims. The co-main event in the prelims is also, again, high-level fight here for me. Ode Osborne, we know Ode Osborne is a good name in the flyweight division. Hasn't been ranked yet. That's because of a bit of a roller coaster career, but he's one of those unranked guys in the flyweight division that is easily have a ranking against his number next to his name, easily. In my opinion, Osborne can crack the top 10 without a doubt, but he has to go in that streak, right? Alibi Idris, another guy I've been following closely in the Ultimate Fighter universe. He's been in the tough house, made it to the final. I think he lost the final. I don't remember who he lost to. Let me just double check here. But yeah, I remember he lost the final against Morales. Joseph Morales is also a top level guy. He was already in the UFC before. So he lost to a guy that's already a high level UFC caliber. But that doesn't take away from Alibi's performances. If you watch, I watched Alibi. Pacey, strong grappling, very good striking, aggressive. And I think this is a very even matchup here. I think both guys are even on every front here. I think Alibi may be the better aggressor. If I would give Osborne what he has advantage over Alibi, it would be the experience, the ability to know how to stay calm in the tough situations in there because he's been in the UFC now. He's taken the losses already, so he should have more armor to carry in this fight than Alibi Idris. But Alibi obviously he's fighting for the money, he's fighting for his country. He knows for a fact what's at stake here. So I think it's gonna be a tricky fight for Ode Osborne. I don't have a pick right now. Right now, give me until Thursday. I'll give you guys a pick for this one. But this fight is super, super close. I don't know if the line's open just yet. AD, if you can help me with that. But I get the feeling this fight's actually going to put Ode Osborne as the favorite, but just the slightest favorite.
So yeah, just to come in here, Ode Osborne is the slight underdog. It's a very close line. Ode Osborne is 2.10. Alibi Idris is 1.77. So it's a very close line, but Ode is a slight underdog there.
That's shocking that he's the underdog. It really is. But you see what I'm saying? It's a fight that is extremely close. Stylistically, it's hard to really say who is better at what and who can pull away from what. I think what it comes down to here is the coaching staff. Like, what game plans are they going to put together to ensure that their fighter actually gets ahead on the fight like this when it's so evenly matched. But I do expect Ode Osborne to swag on him a little bit in the early rounds. Let's see what happens. If he gets taken down, because he can get taken down easy. And Alibi Idris has got fantastic grappling. If he takes Ode Osborne down early, then I might just say, listen, Alibi will then win the fight from there. But give me your thoughts in the comment section, chat. We'll keep it moving. Another fight on this prelims that I think is going to be a banger and potentially also not go to the distance here is Alden Correa taking on Luis Gurul. This is going to be a fun fight. Luis Gurul, we know, powerful guy, big heavy puncher in that in the flyweight division. But also Alden Correa has got fundamentally one of the best boxing you'll see. Pardon me. He reminds me a little bit of a Dustin Poirier in the way that he, pulls the shorts up. That boxing technique and that swagger is very much the same. Absolute stud in there to watch. I've only watched one fight of his now. I was like, oh, this guy can box. And he not only can he box, but he scrambles for his life. He scrambles as if his life depends on it. So which means is that it's hard for him to even be taken down and controlled. He doesn't give his hips away that easily. He immediately pushes the legs back, takes his hips away from your arms, and he's like, nah, we're gonna keep it standing, bro. We're gonna box. And I like that he's got the reach advantage, he's got the speed advantage. I think as long as he doesn't allow Gurul to put him up against the cage, that's where Gurul does his best work. And I doubt Gurul's gonna get there even because the movement from Alden is fantastic. I think maybe I'm hyped up from his debut, but that was the only fight in the UFC, and dude, it was hella impressive. So, but I'm highlighting this fight is because I think who he's fighting is gonna make this fight one for the fans. They're gonna fight for the fans. They're gonna put on a show for sure. But let's see. I will again give you guys my picks in the parlay episode. And then lastly, AD, you don't have to zoom in on these two fights. We have women's bantamweight Nora Cornell from France. She's taking on Jocelyn Edwards from Panama. Two of the tallest women bantamweight fighters in the UFC roster. The only thing I will say about that fight is both women have to make weight. They are notorious for not making weight, and that's because, again, I say it now, they're big for the bantamweight division. I prefer they actually go up a weight class if necessary, because then we can maybe move Harrison into the featherweight. Harrison doesn't have to cut weight so much anymore. You know what I mean? But I understand because there's not many athletes that have to fight at a division where they can be active. But then make the fucking weight. That's what I said. Anyway, I'm talking about their fight is because that's two ranked opponents. So it's this again. There's spots at stake here. I can stake a claim in a title, and whoever wins that fight. I do believe that Nora is slightly the better striker. I don't know if she gets the job done. It is a tricky fighter to go against as well. And then the last one I want to talk about here is Ramez Brahimaj. He's taking on Punella Soriano. That fight for me is not going to go to the distance as well. I think someone's going to go to sleep there because of the styles of who they are. And I think Punella is on a fantastic streak at the moment. I think he's got 3 finishes in a row. So he's looking like a beast at the moment. And Rames is also fundamentally a fantastic boxer. So it's going to be a fight where both guys are going to want to put on a show. And also, Punella is the kind of fighter that you really don't care who he's fighting against. It's like, if I must die with the sword, I'll die by the sword. But My main goal is not to let my opponent settle. I cannot give them space to settle. I can't. I just can't allow it. That's how he fights. He even spoke about like at some of his interviews I've watched post fight. He even says like I go in there not to give my opponent a chance to actually hit me back. And the best way to do that is to stay in front of them and make them have to defend, make them have to react. And that's how he fights, bro. And that's why I think the fight's gonna be high paced kind of fight. And then the rest of the card, I'm not too familiar with a lot of the guys. I know Jordan Levitt is gonna fight. He's taking on Yadea Del Valle. I think Yadea fought before. I think we watched the fight of him live once before. I don't remember who it was. Let's see what happens there. And then the opening bout, I don't know anything about Carla Judice, but I do know Juliana Miller. I've watched her in the Ultimate Fighter as well. Good jiu-jitsu specialist. But she has been up and down in her career, hasn't been consistent in the UFC. Up and down. But she's back. She goes by Juju. So hopefully Juju gets the win this weekend. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But okay, chat. That is my time. Don't forget, you can catch this event, UFC Fight Night, Sean Strickland versus Fluffy Hernandez live, 22nd of February at 3 a.m. between the main card starts. That's South African time. Obviously, check your local listings. I can let you guys know now that there's a high percentage chance that myself and the Fighting with Friends team won't be live for this fight card. But we are gonna watch it. So you guys can check it out yourselves, but we will definitely catch you with the recap 100%. It's just because the timing is a bit weird for us. It's like 3 a.m. is like, and it's not a pay-per-view event. So there's not a lot of high-profile fighters that's going to make me want to jump up for it. But the fights are good. Don't let me make it sound like the fight card is bad. The fight card is good. There's some good matchups on this fight card. So keep a lookout for that. But okay, guys, from myself and the Fighting with Friends team, you guys can please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share. That's the main thing. Share. Keep clicking. We are boosting. Yesterday we had Bokang Masunani on our channel. You can get a look out to that. Nice interview. Fun guy. We also had Nick Atkin on the channel. All those interviews are out on our channel right now. So I just want to say big up and big love to all of them as well as made it possible. But again, like I said, from myself and the Fighting with Friends team, have a very good week. Stay blessed. And we will catch you on the next one. Tomorrow we will actually be taking a break, funny enough, because I have to put some big research together for the Friday Fights card. But on Thursday we will be live. That's the first time we're going to be going live to a preview of One Friday Fights 143. The reason for that is because we actually have a special guest. So I don't want to tell you who the guest is just yet, but there is a special guest. Keep a lookout for that. It's going to be on Thursday at 10 a.m. And then on Friday, we will be live at One Friday Fights 143. I'm just keeping a lookout for that. But okay, guys, again, for the last time, have a good week, and we will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much. Cheers, everybody.